Number 20, you can work that problem two ways. You can either do the cover and solve method to graph the initial inequality line, or you can solve for y and then graph it. I'm going to do the cover and solve method. So if I cover the x, you'll see that you get 2y, and sort of pretend that this is an equals just for a moment, -6. Divide by 2, y would equal -3, meaning that the y-intercept is at -3. And then you make that dot on the y-axis. For the x-intercept, you cover the y, and you would see that 3x, and pretend that that's an equals again, equals -6. Divide by 3, x is -2. So on the x, we need to go to -2 and make a dot. Now, since the inequality does not have the equals bar underneath it, it is going to be a dotted line. So I need to connect these two with a dotted line. For the shading, you have to be careful because depending on the sign on the y, that's the one that matters. Because if you were to solve this equation, if this was a negative on the y, this symbol would end up flipping directions. Since this is a positive y value, though, I know that I would keep this as being less than. So you need to shade, since it is less than, you need to shade below. If you have trouble telling where above and below is, look at your y-intercept. Above would be above there, and below is below there. So I know I need a shade down in this region below the line for my inequality. Number 21, it's not in standard form, so I need to get y alone. The way to get y alone, since it's got a fraction multiplied by it, is to multiply by the reciprocal of whatever that fraction is. It's 2/3, so we need to flip that. That's the reciprocal, 3/2, and multiply by both sides. Over here, it all cancels. That's why you use the reciprocal. And then you'll get y alone. Since you were multiplying by a positive value, nothing happens to the inequality symbol. It stays the same direction that it currently is. On the right side, when you multiply fractions, remember top times top, bottom times bottom. It's negative times a positive, so it'll be a negative. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. That will reduce. -12 divided by 6 is -2. So y is greater than -2. We already graphed a line that was y equals to a number, and that was a horizontal line. This will be a horizontal line going through -2 on the y-axis. It will also be a dotted line because it does not have the equals bar underneath this symbol here. Since it says y greater, we need to shade above the line. So that would be up here in this area for our shading for number 21.